There are 5 levels of intelligence. Most never rise past the first, living their lives as pawns in someone else's game. But intelligence isn't about facts, grades, or sounding clever. It's about survival, leverage, shaping reality before it shapes you. The higher you climb, the fewer survive, until only a handful reach the peak, where you don't just win the game, you design it. These levels aren't theory. They are lived realities, the ladder that decides who rules and who obeys. Today, you'll see where you stand, and once you see it, you can never unsee it. The pawn is everywhere. You pass them in the streets, work beside them in offices, sit next to them in classrooms. They are the majority, the faceless mass that fills the world with noise, but leaves no trace on history. What defines the pawn is not a lack of ability. It is a lack of awareness. They live reactively, chained to routines, governed by fear, swayed by appearances. They mistake survival for strategy, and obedience for wisdom. The pawn believes his opinions are his own, but every thought he carries was handed to him by others: parents, teachers, politicians, media. He obeys laws he never wrote, follows customs he never questioned, and defends systems that quietly consume him. If you ask him why he lives the way he does, he will give borrowed answers. That's just life. That's what everyone does. But these are not reasons. They are chains disguised as logic. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who deceives will always find those willing to be deceived. The pawn does not question. He accepts appearances, mistakes authority for truth, and comfort for freedom. Pawns are terrified of being out of step. They nod when others nod, laugh when others laugh, fear what others fear. They confuse conformity with safety, never realizing that blending in only makes them invisible. Their entire identity is built on external approval. Remove the crowd, and the pawn collapses. Worst of all, the pawn resents those who rise above. They call ambition arrogance, discipline toxic, independence selfish. They glorify struggle, romanticize weakness, and shame strength, because strength reminds them of what they refused to become. And so they cling to comforting illusions, religions that reward obedience, ideologies that punish assent, philosophies that glorify passivity. They call their resignation morality, but morality without power is only theater. A pawn's greatest fear is responsibility, for to admit he is not powerless would mean admitting he must act, and action terrifies him because his whole life has been built around waiting for someone else to lead. This is why pawns are replaceable. They work, consume, obey, and when they break, another steps in silently. No monuments remember them. No legacies follow them. If you see yourself here, do not despair. Awareness itself is the crack in the wall. For the first step to rising is admitting you are trapped. Once you see your chains, you can break them. And when a pawn awakens, he becomes something new. He evolves into the next form. Adaptive intelligence, the parrot. The parrot is louder than the pawn. He has learned to repeat what sounds intelligent, to mimic the language of insight without yet grasping its weight. He collects quotes, ideas, and facts like shiny feathers, and he spreads them to impress others. To the untrained eye, the parrot looks wise. But listen closely. Every word is borrowed. Every opinion is second-hand. The parrot adapts quickly to the crowd. He knows what to say to win approval, which phrases signal intelligence, which trends keep him relevant. He thrives on appearances, because appearances are easier to master than outcomes. As Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." The parrot shines in the performance of wisdom, but strip away the borrowed feathers, and little remains. This is the level where many get stuck. It feels good to be praised for cleverness, to be admired for knowledge. But parroting wisdom is not the same as creating it. The parrot does not design systems, he describes them. He does not forge beliefs, he repeats them. His intelligence is reactive, not generative. And yet, this stage is progress. Unlike the pawn, the parrot questions, learns, gathers. He is curious, restless, unsatisfied with silence. He begins to realize the chains around him, but his mind still seeks safety in imitation. He wants the respect of the intelligent without paying the price of independent thought. The tragedy of the parrot is that he becomes addicted to the performance of wisdom. He builds an identity around sounding right instead of being right, and so he avoids the risk of testing his ideas against reality, because reality could prove him wrong. The applause of the crowd matters more than the truth of the outcome. But some parrots break free. They grow tired of mimicry and crave mastery. They stop asking, "What will make me sound smart?" and begin asking, "What will make me effective?" This is the moment imitation transforms into cunning, and from that cunning emerges the third level, strategic intelligence, the fox. The fox is the first real player of the game. Where the pawn obeys and the parrot imitates, the fox calculates. Machiavelli himself warned, "One must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves." The fox masters the first half of this equation, cunning without conscience, maneuvering without hesitation. He doesn't just react to circumstances, he bends them. He sees beyond appearances and listens for motives, not words. He is cunning, observant, and quick to spot opportunities others overlook. The fox thrives in uncertainty. He knows that people reveal themselves through their desires and fears, and he uses that knowledge to his advantage. He trades in secrets, timing, and leverage. To the outside world, the fox may seem lucky, but his luck is engineered. He reads the room like a map, adjusting his moves with precision, always 2 steps ahead of the unsuspecting. Unlike the parrot, who seeks applause, the fox thrives on subtle victories. He doesn't need to be recognized as the smartest in the room. He only needs to win. His satisfaction comes from influence, from pulling strings without drawing attention. He is not bound by rules of morality or conformity. He values results over appearances, effectiveness over approval. But the fox has limitations. His victories are often short-term, his influence fragile. Cunning can deceive and manipulate, but it cannot build. The fox may outwit rivals today, but tomorrow requires another trick, another scheme. This cycle traps him in constant motion, always hunting, always wary. of being hunted himself. The fox lives with the paranoia of exposure. The moment his schemes are revealed, his power collapses. Allies turn to enemies, trust dissolves, and the cleverness that once impressed becomes evidence against him. Clever men are admired, but they are rarely trusted. Still, the fox is necessary. Without him, systems stagnate. He disrupts, innovates, and exposes weaknesses others overlook. He teaches that intelligence must be applied, not just spoken. But true mastery requires more than clever tricks. To rise higher, the fox must learn to think beyond immediate gains and design strategies that endure. Those who grow tired of fleeting wins evolve into something greater. They step back, widen their vision, and begin shaping the entire battlefield. From the ashes of the fox emerges the fourth level. Manipulative intelligence, the puppeteer. The puppeteer is no longer content with tricks or short-term influence. Unlike the fox, who must be present to pull strings, the puppeteer sets mechanisms in motion that continue even when he is absent. He has learned that real control is not about clever lines or quick schemes. It is about pulling the right levers at the right time to make others dance willingly. The puppeteer's strength lies in his ability to disguise manipulation as choice. He engineers environments where people believe they are acting freely, even as every path leads to his intended outcome. He whispers in the ears of leaders, creates conflicts when unity threatens him, and resolves them when peace benefits him. His influence spreads invisibly, hidden in the architecture of decisions. Unlike the fox, the puppeteer does not chase constant victories. He is patient, calculating, willing to wait months or years to see a plan unfold. He thrives on plausible deniability. His fingerprints are everywhere, yet nowhere. If questioned, he vanishes into shadows, leaving others to defend the outcomes he designed. The danger of the puppeteer is that he begins to lose himself in the masks he wears. Every alliance is temporary, every friendship conditional, every move transactional. Trust becomes impossible, because trust is too fragile for a man who sees through every facade. He collects loyalty the way others collect trophies, yet he offers none in return. Still, the puppeteer marks a higher intelligence because he has transcended mere reaction. He does not just play the game, he bends the players. He knows how to create division, how to steer ambition, how to shape narratives that control entire groups. His intelligence is not loud, it is systemic. But there is a ceiling to this level. The puppeteer remains tethered to the game he manipulates. He still plays within a system designed by someone else. For all his brilliance, he has not yet built the stage, only controlled the actors. To reach the highest level, he must let go of masks and illusions altogether. He must stop playing roles and start writing the rules themselves. Beyond the puppeteer lies the final, rarest form of intelligence, visionary intelligence, the architect. The architect is the highest and rarest form of intelligence. He no longer plays roles, nor merely manipulates others. He builds the very stage upon which everyone else performs. The architect creates systems, institutions, and structures that shape the behavior of entire societies. His intelligence is not personal, it is architectural. It survives beyond his presence, beyond his lifetime. The architect understands that power is fragile when tied to one body, one identity, one moment. So he disperses his influence into rules, traditions, technologies, and organizations. He knows that appearances sway crowds, but only systems endure. Where the pawn obeys, the parrot imitates, the fox schemes, and the puppeteer manipulates, the architect designs. He writes the rules others take for granted. What makes the architect dangerous is his detachment. He does not crave applause or recognition. He understands that visibility breeds vulnerability. Instead, he hides within the very systems he engineers. His name may fade, but his structures endure, guiding decisions, shaping culture, directing futures. He is the invisible hand behind nations, corporations, and movements that last centuries. The architect is both visionary and ruthless. He knows that no system survives without discipline, enforcement, and sacrifice. He builds mechanisms that reward loyalty, punish betrayal, and perpetuate his vision. He is not satisfied with influence or control. He seeks permanence, and permanence requires building beyond the self. Few ever reach this level. To do so requires abandoning ego, fame, and personal glory. It requires the death of identity, the willingness to vanish so that your creation may live. The architect does not ask to be remembered. He demands that his design outlast him. This is the apex of intelligence. Not to win within the game, not to manipulate the players, but to invent the rules of play itself. And once you see this level, you realize how small the lower rungs truly are. For while others scramble for recognition, the architect builds reality. Before we close, I want you to do something right now. Leave a comment below with the words, "I will rise." Say it, write it, claim it. Not for me, for you. The comments will reveal how many among us refuse to remain pawns. And when you write it, you are making a decision to step beyond reaction, beyond imitation, beyond schemes, beyond masks, and begin the climb. These 5 levels are not abstract. They are choices. Every day you reveal where you stand, as a pawn, a parrot, a fox, a puppeteer, or an architect. And every day you can move higher. The ladder of intelligence is not about talent. It is about awareness, courage, and action. Remember this. Most people will live and die without ever realizing a game was being played. But you, right now, have seen the map. You cannot unsee it. The question is, will you climb? The pawn obeys. The parrot imitates. The fox schemes. The puppeteer manipulates. But the architect creates. Which one are you becoming? Drop your answer below. And never forget, the game is real, and it has already begun.